Everyone, and good evening. The day today is the 14th of January, and I want to speak to you today, guys, about why the Kurds doesn't have a country in Iraq and Syria, and now in West Iran, if Iran is going to fall. About Turkey, I can understand. Turkey, okay, you have over there the PKK, and Erdogan, the president, won't allow that. But why they will have a problem that they will have their own country, while in Syria, their army is 40% Arab, from 150,000 soldiers, 40% are Arab, the rest are Kurds, and minorities and Christians, and especially women. You see women's everywhere. And United States always speak about democracy and taking care of women and minorities. If you are looking at their army and the political structure, especially in Syria, and also in Iraq, by the way, especially in the region of Kirkuk, where you have Barazani over there, the leader, also in Erbil, and you see women's everywhere. You see minorities. You see rights for Yazidi and Turkmeni people and Armenians, and all together, everything that the jihadists or those Shias in Iraq that are backed by Iran, and also those Al Qaeda Salafist government in Syria that doesn't include women and minorities, and they are excluding them, or the Kurds have everything that they don't have in their political structure and also in the army. So how come that the West, speaking about democracy, about human rights, and the real people that are really supporting human rights, women rights, minority rights, they don't support them and they don't help them to have a country? Not in Syria, where Erdogan cannot claim that they are disputing his territory because it's not Turkey, okay? The opposite, they're letting Erdogan to take control of Syria and occupying more territories in order to take the oil. So maybe it's all about oil. Okay, about Syria, they can even claim that they have 10% of PKK, that is considered a terror organization. But what about Iraq? In Iraq, Barazani, the leader, doesn't have any PKK at all. Okay, they have their own engineers, their own electricity over there, their own energy facilities to make their own energy and electricity. Okay, so why they don't have a state, at least in Iraq? Over there you don't have any Kurdish PKK terrorists, because that's the claim why they are using to not letting have a country of their own. They fought against ISIS in Iraq and Syria, gave all the intel to the West. Then the West came in order to help, but he only came over there to take the oil. And what's going on in Syria right now? They had made 20,000 people to immigrate in one day from the neighborhood of Sheikh Maksud, where in Syria, in Khaleb. Now they are going to take another neighborhood that the name is Tel Khafer, and they are also going to make them immigrate from over there to another place. Maybe they want them in Iraq. And every time they take in another territory in Syria, they are occupying it, and then they are taking the oil, taking the resources, and making them to immigrate to another place. They did that in northern Syria, also in a place called Efrin. They have more than 300 kilometers a strip over there that they totally occupied. It's a total Turkish occupation. Now they started to do it in Dir Azur, from the south of the Kurdish region in East Syria. Now they are doing it again in northern western Syria, in Khaleb. They are doing it everywhere to just tell them you're not going to have a country. They are threatening them. And the funny thing that how come they have all those claims against the Kurds while even the Druze and the Alawites, doesn't want to give their weapons to the new jihadistic government. They don't trust them. They don't want to be part of their national jihadistic army that only includes former jihadists. So that's the big plan of the West, to support the jihadists and not the people that are doing everything to stand for the values of the West and human rights and defending it. You can see it from their political structure and the political and army structure, like I said. So that's the hypocrisy of the West. You can see it with the Kurds. And also Germany is defending Erdogan and letting him do whatever he wants and to massacre the Kurds together with El Jolani. Okay, guys, I hope that you learned something. For the finish, I will show you the map. I will show you how it looks. You have Kurds that you can really not trust them. Over here you have the Hoda Par, it's called Hezbollah, but not Shia, they are Sunnis. They are a small party, not very big in Turkey. They are even support Hamas. They are the bad guys. We have Abdullah Öcalan over here in Turkey, and about the PKK over there, they even gave up their weapons. There are only 4,000 soldiers, those PKK, that they are so afraid of them and using them as an excuse. You have the PUD in Syria, that only 10% of them are PKK, and you have Barzani over here with the KDP, Kurdish Democratic Party. They call them in Syria and also in Iraq democratic because they are really democratic. They have women, they have minorities over there, they have a lot of Arabs. They are getting along with them. So why do not support them? That should be the legitimate party. Also in Syria, and not this jihadist one-sided government. Also you have the PJK over in Iran. And the only problem is this party, the PUK in Suleimania, in the south side of eastern Iraq. They are supporting Iran. They are the problem. And instead of fighting against them or let them to win the war against them, they are not doing anything, and they are not helping them to have at least a partly country in Iraq and also in Syria. And basically Iranians militias are attacking their infrastructures and power plants, and they are doing everything to destroy their economy. Okay guys, thank you very much, and hope that we'll see a more brightened future and less hypocrisy in the Middle East, especially from the main powers like United States and others. Thank you very much.